Welcome to Dr. McCrobie's Music Education Talk Series. Inspire, create, perform, succeed. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Dr. McCrobie Education Talk Series. As we stand on the edge of another marching band season, I want to talk directly to the band directors, the staff members, and the music educators who may be carrying a little anxiety right now. Maybe you're looking at drill charts, the music, your visual package, your percussion book, your calendar, and your student leadership team, and you're thinking, we're not ready yet. And if we're being honest, every one of us has had that thought at some point. We look at the first competition on the schedule and start doing the mental math. Maybe we should wait one more week. Maybe we should skip that first show. Maybe we should hold off until the production is cleaner. Maybe the kids need more time before we put them out there. I understand that instinct. I really do. As directors, we care deeply about how our students represent the program. We want them to feel successful. We want to protect their confidence. We want to put something on the field that reflects excellence and preparation. But I want to offer a different perspective today, one I believe strongly, and one I've learned through experience. Championships do not matter nearly as much as the experience students gain through the process. Let me say that again. Championships are not the point. Trophies are not the point. Scores are not the point. Placements are not the point. What matters most is what students become because of the season. Marching band is not just about putting a polished product on the field. It is about teaching resilience. It is about teaching accountability. It is about teaching students how to handle pressure, how to recover from mistakes, how to trust one another, how to work through adversity, and how to keep moving forward when things are not perfect. And the truth is, students do not learn those lessons by waiting until everything is ready. They learn those lessons by doing. They learn them by stepping onto the field before it feels comfortable. They learn by making mistakes under the lights. They learn them by hearing feedback, regrouping, and coming back stronger next week. They learn them by realizing that one rough performance does not define them. They learn them by discovering that growth is not always clean, but it is always valuable. I think sometimes as directors, we can fall into the trap of believing that delaying performance equals protecting students. But often, what we are really doing is delaying one of the most important parts of the educational process, the chance to experience the performance environment and learn from it. Because no matter what, your band is going to have a first show. Whether that first show is week 1 or week 4, it's still going to be the first time those students perform that production in front of an audience, under pressure, in uniform, in a competitive environment, with all of the adrenaline and nerves that come with it. And here is the part we need to remember. If mistakes are going to happen, and they will, it is far better for students to begin learning those mistakes early than to spend weeks trying to avoid them altogether. Avoiding the first competition does not eliminate mistakes. It just postpones them. In fact, sometimes it creates even more pressure. Now students have had more time, expectations are higher, and the assumption is that everything should be polished simply because their debut came later. Then, if the performance still has tears, timing issues, dirt in the drill, memory lapses, balance problems, or visual inconsistencies, and let's be honest, it will, it can feel more frustrating because everyone waited for the right moment only to realize that perfection was never going to happen anyway. Marching band is a living, breathing, evolving activity. It should not and is not supposed to be finished in September. It's not even supposed to be finished in early October. The season is the classroom. The performances are part of the curriculum. The mistakes are part of the instruction. Students need the reps. They need to feel what it's like to enter a warm up lot with nerves in their stomach. They need to learn how to reset after a poor rep. They need to understand how to take adjudicator feedback and turn it into action. They need to experience what it means to perform when conditions are not perfect, when the weather is bad, when a prop malfunctions, when a shoe breaks, when a mic cuts out, when someone misses a set, when the adrenaline causes things to move too fast. That is not failure. That is marching band. And more importantly, that is education. If we truly believe that our programs exist to form young people, not just entertain crowds or chase numbers, then we have stopped treating mistakes as something shameful to avoid and start treating them as something useful to unpack. A student missing a dot is not the end of the world. A horn line having to run is not the end of the world. A battery tear, a cracked note, a rush transition, a late entrance, none of that is the end of the world. They are opportunities to teach students how to respond when things don't go their way. They are opportunities to teach poise, humility, problem solving, grit, and ownership. There are opportunities to help students understand that excellence is not about never messing up. It is about learning how to improve, how to persevere, and how to keep showing up. I think one of the healthiest things we can do as directors at the beginning of marching band season is to set the right internal standard for ourselves. The goal of the first performance should not be perfection. The goal should be progress. The goal should be poise. The goal should be presence. The goal should be giving students the chance to put their work in motion and learn from the result. Your first show is not your final statement as a program. It's simply the first chapter of a story. And I would argue that there is real value in letting students live through that chapter honestly. Let them perform when it's not perfect. Let them hear the applause anyway. Let them walk off the field knowing they did something hard. Let them sit together afterwards and talk about what went well and what needs to improve. Let them learn that mistakes do not disqualify them from being successful. Let them discover that growth is built through repetition, reflection, and trust in the process. Because long after the scores are forgotten, that is what remains. Students may not remember what place they got at a September competition 10 years from now, but they will remember the bus ride home after their first performance. They'll remember the feeling of stepping onto the field with their friends. They'll remember what it felt like to be nervous and still do it anyway. They'll remember the laughter, the setbacks, the inside jokes, the moments of resilience, and the pride that came from watching the show improve week after week. Those are the things that shape them. Those are the experiences that build confidence. Those are the experiences that create buy in. Those are the experiences that teach perseverance. Those are the experiences that make marching band matter. So, as you prepare for this season, I want to encourage you to shift the question. Instead of asking, are we ready enough to compete? Ask yourself, what do my students need to experience in order to grow? Instead of asking, how can we avoid mistakes? Ask, how can we help students learn from mistakes? Instead of asking, what will people think if the show isn't clean yet? Ask, will my students gain by getting out there and doing the work? Because that is the real work. Our students do not need us to create an illusion of perfection. They need us to create an environment where they can work, fail, adjust, trust, improve, and keep going. That is what the best marching band programs do. Yes, they pursue excellence. Yes, they rehearse with urgency. Yes, they clean details and demand accountability. Yes, they care about performance quality. But underneath all of that, the strongest programs understand something deeper. The season is not about protecting students from mistakes. It's about preparing students to grow through them. So don't be afraid of the first show. Don't treat the opening competition as something to hide from until every count is clean and every form is perfect. That moment may never come, and that's okay. Your students do not need a flawless beginning, they need a meaningful one. They need the chance to step into that arena. They need the chance to learn what the activity really asks of them. They need the chance to fall short, regroup, and come back stronger. They need the chance to discover that they are capable of more than they thought. And sometimes the very best thing we can do as educators is simply let them begin. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Dr. McCrobie's Music Education Talk Series. And as you head into marching season, I hope that you'll remember this. The first show is not about proving you are finished. It's about giving students the chance to start growing in real time. Let them perform. Let them make mistakes. Let them grow. Let them learn. Because those are the lessons that last far longer than any championships ever will.